Okay, so starting with the boots because they're the easiest part, I just got a pair of black boots, and then I took a strip of navy blue fabric left over from the robe, I just tied that to the bottom, and then I just wrapped it around the boots, kind of trying to evenly space the wrappings, just kind of the way they were in the movie, and then when I got to the top, I just tied it off on the back side, and then cut off the excess of the strip. And so then you just do that to both of them and make sure that you're winding the strips in opposite directions. So moving on to the belt, I got 4 belts of different textures and thicknesses. So I laid out one of the small ones, and I laid the biggest one overlapping that, then the other small one next to those. Then I just took a needle and some black thread, and I pushed it through the gaps on one of the belts, and then pushed it through the gaps on the belt next to that one. And then on the back side, I just tied it off into a couple of good knots and cut off the excess. And then I just did that in sections, about 3-inch intervals all the way down, so the 3 belts are sewn together. So then just cut a donut out of some cardboard, and take some silver paint and cover the entire thing in metallic silver paint. Once the paint is dry, just take a marker or a pencil and draw a little line on the inside, and that will be your guide to paint it black with some black paint, just like that. And so then for my cloth belt, it was a little too wide and I actually needed 2 of them, so I cut it in half down the center and I cut off the buckle. Then I just ran some hot glue down the cut edge so that it wouldn't unravel. So to make a tassel, I took a piece of cardboard about 4 inches high and I wrapped some black yarn around it about 30 times. Help from the cat is optional. And then cut off the bottoms so that it's open, fold them in half, and then just take a piece of black thread and tie them very tightly just under the heads and cut off the excess. So then I cut a small strip off the fabric belt and I spread out the little loops at the top of the tassel and I squished the belt right into the center of those loops. And then I just took a needle and thread and sewed the tassel right onto the bottom. You'll do that with 2 pieces and those will drape right over each other on the belt. So take your little circle and just sew right through both of those pieces of belt with the tassels and sew it around, loop through the thread, and then just go all the way around the cardboard circle quite a few times because you can actually see the black lines on Dr. Strange's belt. So just like that. So then lay it out onto the other belts and you just want to measure off your pieces of cloth belt so they're the same width and put one on each side and then just sew piece to each side of the belt, and then just take some thread and wrap it around the top so that it has a matching little design. So then take your other piece of cloth belt and lay that across the multiple belts, and then lay the piece that you just finished working on top of that, and then sew the cloth belts to the ones underneath at 3-inch intervals. When you got that sewn on, just cut the buckles and stuff off the ends of each side of the belts. So next I'm taking some of my favorite silver adhesive foil and cut it into strips and just wind those around the belts. And you'll do that at different areas of the belt. Just look at some pictures of Dr. Strange's belt to know about where to place them. And then I cut 4 pieces of bias tape and I folded them in half and sewed 2 onto each side, one at the top and one at the bottom. And so those will make it very easy to just take the belt and fasten it around your back. You'll use 2 strings as one basically. It makes them a little stronger. You just tie the top threads and then the bottom threads together so that the belt stays on pretty good. That's kind of what that looks like. And a quick shot of it on the robe, more of that later. First is the wig, and this was an epic fail. It was supposed to be a pulled back hairline wig and it totally wasn't, so I had to play with it a little bit. I took a brush and combed the heck out of it, trying to restyle it, and then I took the scissors and cut off all the extra fluff, and that made it a little better. Still not great, but it's better. So then to get the white lines in it, I just took some white acrylic paint and I just took a dry brush and just very haphazardly spread it onto the hair, and you don't want to do it too thick. You just want to kind of spritz it on there and then just take a brush and comb it out, and that'll. For the final touch, I just paint a little goatee on my face.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. You know, I hate to sound like a broken record, but Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Okay, so that is the Doctor Strange costume tutorial. If you missed any of the pieces, the other video should be popping up on your screen about now. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.